Hey loves, hey loves, hey loves, hey loves. My name is Wyann Vaughn, also known as Y, and this is Raise It Up Y, the podcast. We are coming at you the last Thursday and also the last day of March 2022 in an episode we're calling I like girls, 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 I do adore. So put this, no, it's just called girls, 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 girls. No, it's actually called I Like Girls, 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 Girls. Shouts out to Boomer. He told me to name it that because he said he is out here liking the girls. Girls, girl. Nigga gonna say, I like women. Okay, well, as you guys know, the whole squad is here. That means Boomer is right behind that camera. We have another one of the angels, Susie, my tall assistant, is in the building. She's also going to let me know if I have... Okay. Yes, if you are looking on YouTube or Patreon, thank you so much for being a love onlooker. If you're listening anywhere that podcast can be consumed, I'm going to say thank you once again for your non-refundable time. If you hear any random sounds, I just took in a stray cat. So soundtrack, but shut that motherfucker up. No, I'm messing with you. I'm messing with your track. I'm messing with you. But Are you okay, boo? He can't hear me? So wait, go make sure he knows we're rolling now. Shouts out to Lil Soul Squad, a.k.a. the Sound Council. No, the Soul Council of Jamla under the tutelage of Ninth Wonder, Young Guru, and the likes. So, doesn't he water? Okay. So, yeah, I took in a stray cat. So, Raise It Up Y is where OGs kick game to real ones only. It is where we raise up your self-awareness, your vibration, and your capacity for love, which is just knowledge. This entire year, we are going to be big on making sure that we fine-tune vibration. Last year, we did self-worth. The year before that, we did self-awareness. However, this year, it is all about fine-tuning the vibration. Everything in life vibrates. This is not me as a musician or as a edutainer saying all of this. This is physics. If you don't like it, take it up with Isaac Newton, not me. I didn't do it. So, but it's important to know that because everything is vibrational and everything is almost like instrumentation, much like the ice cream truck that's going to go by in just a second. Don't worry about that. It's just vibration, right? Fine tuning, soft serve. That's soft serve? Look. Y'all know I live in the hood. I just got to make sure we got to see what it is. And you guys have to forgive us. We've been doing Patreon exclusive episodes and they're all way more like free form. So I think I'm bringing some of that energy onto the general pod and, either way, we're winning. So I'm happy about what we're doing. And I didn't shout out my second assistant. Cup of Sue is who's here. I said my tall assistant. The angel's name is at Cup of Sue on Instagram. So I'm just happy to have my team around me. That makes me very, very completely happy. This episode, let it be known, we are going to be covering a DOUXADIDDY as a poem. I'll tell you why this poem is special to me when we get into it. And we're going to do two high-wise from some of our favorite classic loves in love culture. While it didn't start the way that it didn't start when the podcast started, we've created a following for this podcast, and that culture of individuals that follows us is known as the Loves. So Raise It Up Y is also home to love culture and all of the loves. And as a result of that, we do things like Love Tuesdays, as evidenced by the new merch run and this shirt. Oh, I got hair on me. But I wore the bra you guys like. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes, I have a large male following, but no, that's okay. But I'm messing with you guys. The big vibe is on Love Tuesdays is we get together and speak about what all we do on this podcast. It's the action piece, if you will, the practical piece of all the theory and lessons and gems that are dropped here in Raise It Up Wise. So, Love Culture, Love Tuesdays, on my Instagram is another place for you to connect with Raise It Up Why the podcast. So let's get into some grounding, get into the DOUXADIDDY, the two high whys, and then we'll have a Wyann's words of wisdom that takes us out of this mofo. March is all about the ladies. You guys know this. And I know he's banging the next door neighbor. That's why. So all of you guys had to learn that now. But yeah, one of my ice cream men is taking down my across the street neighbor. I got Haagen-Dazs in there. I got ice cream. God. Yes. Okay. So now that Boomer is being crazy, don't go out there. He'll stay longer. I'm like, look, no, he really will. He really will stay. He's waiting for her. But yeah, I know. Carry your butt. But we're going to get into some grounding. It's going to be fun because you're going to be hearing this very exotic music behind me. But either way, let's get into the episode. Before we do, just a second, in this intro here, the vibration that we're fine-tuning today is the frequency of femininity for International Women's Month, which is March every year. We're going to be looking at that energy within all of us. It doesn't matter what gender you subscribe to. Feminine energy and masculine energy is in everything and everyone. So that's what we're going to fine-tune today. All right? All right. Let's get into this LA style. Yeah. So if you are driving, please keep your eyes open. If you are anywhere else in the world and feel so inclined to, I would invite you to please go ahead and close your eyes. Take a moment to be here with me. Hear my voice. Feel my feet. No. You should feel your feet. Hear my voice, feel your feet. If you feel inclined, wiggle your toes. Go ahead and randomly touch your nose. And you're simply doing that to recognize that you are here, presently here. Let's breathe a breath in and blow a breath out. We're going to do that again in through the nose and out through the mouth. And we're going to take a moment to own this wonderful miracle we call life, that you are breathing and winning just by living this life. By spending this time with my voice right now, you're investing into your betterment. I'd like you to sit with that and feel proud as we go up. Welcome on in, tap in and go up. Let's do it. I want to recite for you all a poem, a nice little poem. This poem is special to me. I'll tell you why, the little backstory behind this DOUXADIDDY. We have a DOUXADIDDY right now. And what's happening, just a second. Are you guys, should I go say something?
Sure, nigga had to damn, my bad.
Oh. Well, if someone's out there, then okay. But if he left it on while he was going in on girl, I was about to say, we're going to go say something. No. Okay, as long as it's okay. And it's an OG, we'll let it be. Okay. No. We're keeping all of this. This is a part of the feminine energy that I've been learning about myself. In the Wyann's Words of Wisdom, you're going to learn more about what that experience has looked like. But the idea of allowing life as it happens, this is, a part of being in the quintessential space of feminine energy is learning to allow and releasing the illusion of control and or at least the attempt at it. And this is also further evidence for why we tape usually very late at night, because this will be the last time that this happens. Cause even if they can't hear it, it's distracting me. So the whole poem of being grounded, I don't feel grounded. I feel like I'm still too aware of everything around me. No, it's okay. Yes, thank you. Yes. No. This is good. Because guess what? We talked about this in one of the Clubhouse talks. We'll talk about that at the Pay Your Dues portion. But there is a Raise It Up Y room on Clubhouse if you are on that app and would like to be a part of our Sunday discussions. That's a whole complete vibe. But in this past Sunday, we got into some really interesting talk. I'm not going to go back into what happens if loves. Some of you guys were there. Let it be that. Others of you that weren't there, start coming and you'll see all of the variety that we get to experience in that room. But we happen to be talking about a topic, and one of the questions that came up from one of our classic loves, Faithful, was, how do you deal with certain things in life when everything isn't picture perfect and everything isn't ideal? Well, this is a part of what we're dealing with. When things aren't as I don't know, intentional, perfect by your standards, all variables are controlled as much as they can be for your sense of comfort, those things are stressful. This Christmas music in my ear right now feels stressful, but guess what? Adversity introduces man to himself. So when things are not perfect, seeing how you're able to adapt to life when things aren't picturesque, that's a huge determinant of who you are fully, right? And as a result of that, I'll say we are all now getting to learn, well, at least Wyann, let me keep it on myself. Wyann gets to learn, as much as I say, yeah, we're about focus and we're about keeping our vibration tight. Okay, well, guess what? Situations won't always be perfect. And when they aren't, how much of my word do I walk at that point? They say, walk it like you talk it. How much of my talk do I walk when conditions are not ideal? It's easy to love when motherfuckers is loving, right? But if situations begin to spiral, or if things are less beautiful than ideally imagined, can you still love? How does love look? Do you adjust and step into your sense of creation and creativity to find what can still be lovable about things, even when it doesn't feel like it's completely in love? These are all of the real questions that we have to ask ourselves, and I'm not saying it's easy. People be looking at 50-year plus relationship shit, 15-year plus relationships, and be like, goals. Oh, that's goals. And a lot of people I know be like, oh, if you could have seen what this looked like 7 months ago, 7 weeks ago, 7 hours ago, 10 minutes ago, when we're having to work through the kinks of the relationship, when we're having to find the alignment and there's dissonance present, that's when you get to see who the fuck you really are and how things really go. So I'm saying all of that to say, we're learning in real time right now. But I feel like that was all still a part of the intro. We're going to get into this DOUXADIDDY. We can put the little title now. DOUXADIDDY. Huh? DOUXADIDDY. We'll put the title in now on DOUXADIDDY. This poem here called Sistas. A few years ago, I want to say it might have been 2014, I got the privilege of being in a stage play of For Colored Girls. If you guys don't know what that is, please look that up. It's an amazing play. It's actually been taken in to be a movie now, and it was like star-studded. Felicia Rashad, Janet Jackson, Kimberly Elise, who that motherfucker in that movie had me gone. I promise you. That nigga put on a clinic. Angela Bassett. Am I wrong? No, not Angela Bassett. Who am I seeing? Lynn Whitfield? Who am I seeing? No. Loretta Devine. I know she was one of them because she was the girl in green. I played the girl in green. Damn it. There's another person. Felicia Rashad was for sure. Yeah. Yeah. But there's another person that I know her name, but I just can't I can't see it right now. But I got to play in this stage play. I enjoyed it a lot. And while we were recording, while we were doing the stage play, what I didn't know was that Dr. Cornel West ended up coming in attendance. He was doing a tour with Tavis Smiley at the time, and he happened to just stop through in at this particular theater where we were. And Andy Chapman, my aunt in love and in entertainment, she was directing, as well as I think Ren Brown might have been directing as well. I know he was there. I'm not sure if Ren Brown, he's another amazing actor. They were both there heading the production, right? Right. So Auntie Andy had me be a part of it. And oh my goodness, I'm starting to lie. Let me take this whole story back. This was not the production of For Colored Girls. For Colored Girls came after in 2014. This, what I'm telling you, happened in 2010. And I was 28 at the time. What ends up going on is we do a play. And in this play, we were paying homage to a bunch of regal Black women. All these dope Black figures. Some of them were creatives. Some of them were directors. Some of them were Chisholm, who ran for president. What's her full name? Shirley Chisholm. Is that her name? They said one of her speeches. Someone else did the Ain't I a Woman speech by Sojourner Truth. Of all of these wonderful pieces that happened in this play to pay homage to Black women, the one that I ended up doing was my own poem. It was the only original piece in the entire play. It was something like a play. I don't know what you would even call it. Anyways, this is what we ended up doing. And at the end of this particular play, my sister and my dad were there. And that's not true. I think it was just my dad. My dad might have been there and was there. And we got to meet Dr. Cornel West. And when my aunt brought him to me and said, yeah, this is Wyann Vaughn. Wyann Vaughn, I'd like you to meet Dr. Cornel West. He said, now, sister, as I understand it, you were the only one with an original piece in this whole thing. Is that accurate? I said, yes, sir, it is. He said, well, I got to let you know, I quite enjoyed what you did. I said, okay, well, thank you. And it was just a huge honor to get this freaking powerhouse of a person to say that he thought my words were excellent. And the poem that I'm going to perform here for you today was that poem. It's called Sistas. Cocoa, caramel, butter toffee snacks. These are the sweet faces that we call Black. Strong, intense, smart trendsetters. Aphrodite symbols. Sisters, we are better. Better than Willie Lynch models of a slave. Mistrust and distrust meant to take us to our graves. We are better than popping fingers, rolling necks and eyes, hating on each other when within the problem lies. We are better than looking at a sister all wrong because she happy with a good dude wrapped around her arm. We are better than breaking down somebody else. When you think you're hurting them, you're hating on yourself. But you are a cocoa, caramel, butter toffee snack. These are the sweet faces that we call Black. Strong, intense, smart trendsetters, Aphrodite symbols, sisters. We are better. Better like My sisters that I see up in college, black is power and power is knowledge. Better like smiling at your girls in a club. You'd be surprised how many of us don't get love. Better like being the best you can be, realizing that a child doesn't stop all your dreams. And better like building back up the black man. He was made for you. So when he falls, don't be scared to take a stand, because you are a cocoa, caramel, butter, toffee snack. These are the sweet faces that we call black. Strong, intense, smart trendsetters, Aphrodite symbols, sisters. We are better. And I love that poem because I wrote that when I was like 27 or so. And I mean, I'm actually at 39, I'm sitting here impressed at what I wrote because I haven't recited this poem. Geez, I haven't recited this poem in years. And it feels like I'm getting in contact with this previous version of myself and seeing where I was, kind of remembering where I wrote certain words in here from. And this particular line has tripped us black women up in the past few years. So has been my experience. Better like building back up the black man. He was made for you. So if he falls, you should take a stand. In recent times and in recent years, there seems to be we've had it, black women have had it so much more challenging than a black man, or black men don't stand for us and they don't know how to protect us, or, there's been some form of dissonance as opposed to harmony when it comes to certain debates, conversations, narratives that have come up in regards to the black community in the past few years. What I would like maybe to pose at this point in time is that none of this is new, number one. The first line of this poem talks about we are better than the Willie Lynch model of a slave, mistrust and distrust meant to send us to our graves. I debated between doing this poem and one of the poems that's in Write Out, my book released from 2018. That particular poem is called Role Reversal. And in Role Reversal, it looks at the deconstruction of a black man in front of a black woman and a black son in order to shock the black woman into a false sense of dominance in all relationships. It's where we get longly held stereotypes like the strong black woman and things of that nature. And it's funny to me now, looking back at this poem years after I wrote it, that the first line of the poem and one of the last lines scaffold one another. One of the other biggest ways to enslave a people who were West Africans turned Black Americans, one of the biggest ways to enslave us was to find any sort of, no pun intended, verses. And in that verses, you take and find one discrepancy or difference and you maximize it until you've created conflict. They place the old against the young, the light against the dark, the women against the men. So when I see conversations stir up about black men versus black women, given where I sit and what and how I've been taught, I find that to be like this big ass trap. And once I find it and I see it, I immediately say, nope, that's one of the tools utilized. If you can get me to start saying, here's what's wrong with black men, then I'm perpetuating the mental enslavement that was set forth. Oh God, when did slavery start? 1619. So goodness, whenever the dude Willie Lynch. Some people say that the whole thing is fictitious. Some people say it didn't really happen, blah, 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 blah. I say, regardless of how you believe, that some people still are stuck in various mental conflicts within the Black community. Okay, maybe his name wasn't William Lynch. Maybe it could have been, Captain Farrell. I don't know, nigga. Somebody's name, whoever the name is, wherever it stemmed from, the validity of what it's currently looking like in our present day, that shit is not deniable. And I feel like if we are able as Black women to hone in on ourselves, see ourselves, become, shouts out to Michelle Obama, become ourselves, realizing that that's a forever process. You're always becoming. You are always becoming whoever you are. But staying in that frame of mind of becoming, if we look to see ourselves, discover that thing like we did on the podcast in 2020, self-awareness. If we don't just look and find ourselves, but also recognize that there's worth there, all of 2021 podcast episodes, then, like in 2022, we can fine-tune that sense of femininity and see that we are, and it is good to be us, to be this Black woman. And regardless who an adversary of ours might look like, whether it's a Black man, white woman, transgender Asian person, I don't care who. If we understand that we are good, and if we understand that we have worth, regardless what anyone else thinks about us, we will be able to stand tall with a beautiful confidence that no one can take away from us. And that's a part of the fine tuning that I've experienced as a Black woman in America, that I've seen we need, like the line that says, we are better like smiling at your sisters in the club. You'd be surprised how many of us never get love. And I say that at the time that I wrote this, my sister Wendy and I would go out places together. We're only a year apart. We would go out places together when we were younger, and we would get treated differently, being the light-skinned chicks with the wavy hair, or the pretty girls from Glendale. And if we weren't from LA or Pasadena or wherever the cities were that we were partying in, then certain ladies who maybe felt intimidated, who knows why people do what they do, that's their business, not mine. But they would give us pushback and look at us in a non-favorable way. And I never understood it, I gotta be honest. However, my sister Wendy encountered it more. She's the more feminine presenting of the two of us. Wyann has always been a little tomboy, rough and tumble, more in touch with my masculinity rather than my femininity. Wendy Vaughn is my feminine energy counterpart. Let me tell you, the dainty, the prissy, the particular, the persnickety, whatever people have called her. And I am telling you right now, when this girl Wendy would be in certain clubs and certain particularly Black women, I'm saying that because we grew up in a suburb of LA where Blacks and whites were the minority. We don't have a big history of Black on white, Black versus white in our world. Where I grew up, the school was over 80% comprised of Armenian and Latino, mostly Mexican. Everybody else shared that other 19%. Let me tell you. So we don't have the same lived experience as a lot of Black people. But when I tell you, when it comes to how certain Black women have perceived my sister, it's probably why I'm such a tomboy. And so when I see in the club or, lounges, wherever we were young, we would be out. We're used to seeing beautiful women and smiling and dancing with them and being cool. And certain Black women would look at us like we were the plague. And Wendy, like I say, she would get it more than me. I'll tell you one story quickly. Universal City Walk back in the 90s or the early 2000s when it was popping. It was like the Valley's Crenshaw. If you guys look at Boys in the Hood and you see Crenshaw on a Sunday and it's popping in the cars and like just culture of young energy out, just being outside, as they say, no T, outside, you understand? When we were in the Valley, the closest we got to that was the Universal City Walk. So we would be there. They had this one area where there was like a fountain and all the water would shoot out. And God forbid if it was summer and like you just was out and we're young. So niggas don't got jobs necessarily and stuff like that. So you out, you hanging, but people don't got a whole lot of money to spend. So that was a free place for people to just link and meet new people, right? So we're out there. You know, some dudes is talking to Wendy. No niggas would ever be necessarily talking to me. They'd be like, oh, why the homie? But what's up with your sister? My whole life, let it be known. But so Wendy's sitting there, and Wendy was looking at a girl's braids. She said, oh, why? How did she get those braids? Like, and she was looking at the girl's braids and she had just told me that, but she kind of like went to do something else and we stopped talking about the young lady. Young lady walk over to us and say, do you got a problem? And Wendy was like, excuse me? You looking at me, you got a problem. I said, she might not have a problem, but I do with you. So now she was like, no, my problem ain't with you, it's with her. I said, no. That's my sister. Your problem's with me. She was a smaller girl. I've always been a thick chick. Thickness, what you know about the thick. Anyways, hey, okay, my bad. Y'all don't see Susie. She's over here turning me up. My bad, y'all, my bad. But yeah, it almost got turned up. Like for real turned up. But Wyann has been a social worker since I was clearly in 19 or 20, however old I was at this time. And the girl was like, nah, she's looking at me. I said, so she looks at you and that gives you a problem? No, I'm just wondering why she's looking at me. I'm like, why can't she look at you? What's the problem? Well, I mean, if she's noticing me then, I said, then what? I literally just made her go through her process. And she was like, but that's disrespect. I said, where? How? How is it disrespect? Because she's looking at me. What does it mean that she's looking at you? What does that mean to you? I promise you, I can't lie. We did this right there. For the life of me, my whole life, me asking people questions like that has averted so many what could have been physical altercations. And instead, they just became talks in real time. If you come to Love Tuesdays, you'll hear how we end up getting these talks out and we talk things through during Sundays on Clubhouse. I'm just telling you, a lot of what, even though we have a social media world, and like I'm saying, back in the day over at City Walk, we were in a social setting. A lot of us kind of, more now than then, we live in these silos. Silos are like these solitary confinement spaces, but you're amongst people, at least socially. I'm just using it in a social context. So as much as we're around one another, just people, so long as we take out our phones, we've immediately detached from whatever around us in our physical real world, and we've gone onto our timelines. And our timelines are our time capsules. They are everything that we've designed, we want to see. And we think that just because these are the things that we prevalently follow and all of the things that we're consistently exposed to, we think that's the whole world, when really that's just our world, you know? So when you start to have conversations with people, you open up how you think to a bunch of people who, guess what? They don't have your same timeline. So now you're getting to see in real time how your breed of thinking is taken contextually in a social setting. A lot of us don't have these sorts of things anymore because everyone is so confined in their own little worlds brought about by their own timelines. You go to Apple Music now, or wherever you can consume music. You have your own playlists. You go anywhere. Life is kind of curated to the individual. So we can talk about why relationships are being so almost feel like wiped out right now. Motherfuckers don't know how to share. They don't know how to share space, share time, share ideas without becoming offended that you don't think exactly how I think. You don't sing exactly like I sing. You don't have auto-tune on your voice, so therefore you don't sound clean and perfect. Life ain't clean and perfect. Go back and listen to Sam Cooke. Sam Cooke wasn't singing clean and perfect. He was singing human, a human tone that, as dope as he is, he could never do what Stevie does. And as dope as Stevie is, he will never be what Michael Jackson is to us. And as dope as Michael Jackson is, you will never be Gladys Knight. And as Gladys Knight is, you will never be Wanda Vaughn of the Emotions. And you'll never be, we can keep going, Brandy. You'll never be Jasmine Sullivan. You'll never be her. You'll never be Daniel Caesar. Who knows? All of these individualized textures that we call tones, they're individual for a purpose. This is the frequency at which all of us resonate, different from everyone else. So when you have your own timeline, your own world, and your own being, you just don't always hear how you come off to everyone. You don't see how you sound or see how you look to everybody else. I don't think that you do. Much like the young lady didn't at City Walk who almost got mollywopped by these hands. Shouts out to Cash. And with these hands. That's such an inside joke. Only the sound. Why do I keep calling them the Sound Council or the Little Soul Squad? The Soul Council will be the only ones that understand that joke, by the way. But I really enjoy that poem, Sistas. That poem is actually not in any of my books yet. However, let's put it in a book. So I think we just said that Wyann is going to start putting out more poetry 2022. Okay. So moving right along. For the next 2 segments of the podcast, we are going to do #HighWise. HighWise are when people get to ask questions and they toss me some of their, just what they want to hear from Wyann's perspective. In this episode, we're taking 2 of our classic loves. One, Love Mitzen, and one is Love Faithful. And we are going to be answering questions that they've asked me in private right here on the pod. I definitely let both ladies know that we were doing this. So I don't feel like I'm violating anything right now. But for Luv Culture and for anyone else, if ever you want to submit a question to HighWise, please contact at RaiseItUpY, RaiseItUpWY. Love say rockets up on these hoes. Long story, we can get into it another time. And just DM me the question. DM me whatever your question is, and it's RaiseItUpY on all social media platforms, including Clubhouse. And just make sure that you submit the question, and then, it can be featured right here on the pod, and we'll answer it for you. What we just left out of was called a DOUXADIDDY, and DOUXADIDDY is where we highlight original music and art forms like poetry. So far, it's only been my music because the 2 times that I've tried to feature other people's music, people were saying, yeah, so what am I getting paid? I said, no. No. All this shit has been out of my pocket. So what? Anyways, so when people own their own music, it's easy for me to include you. When you do not own your own music, it is not easy for me to include you, because this is just the best marketing, which is just word of mouth or hearing it on a podcast. I've discovered hella new music on the podcast that I listen to. So I just wanted to do that for other artists. But like I say, other artists have had a challenging time if they don't completely own their own music, just allowing me permission to put their music on my podcast. So anyways, one of the loves, Faithful, that we call her the Faithful Coffer on Instagram at the Faithful Coffer, sends a HighWise. And because we've been looking at femininity for the month of March in 2022, everything is going to kind of delve around these sorts of topics. And Faithful sent me a meme. It said, I just want to sit back and let a man lead while I thrive in my femininity. And the caption of that particular meme was, watch all the women skip this post, with an incredulous looking emoji at the end of it. What the Love Faithful asked about this was, hear the words. She said, so I feel like this is part of the problem too, right? Like if we women act like we don't have to contribute to the life or the team that we build, then we're not functioning in our purpose. And I think my answer surprised her. I said, I completely agree with this particular post. Let me read it again so you can have your own feelings about it. I just want to sit back and let a man lead. By the way, in the post, the word lead was in all caps because I think that was the assumption that women would have, especially Black women, especially women in touch with their masculinity who could be Black or white or Asian or anything else. I just want to sit back and let a man lead while I thrive in my femininity. And the Luv Faithful, I think she and I would both, I think she would describe herself as being in touch with the bossness in her, and the boss vibes in her definitely resonate as a woman taking charge of her own life, self-employed, doing her own thing, and at the same time, because we are women, looking for love. This is not uncommon that the independent, as in I own my space, I make my own money, I pay my own rent, I get my things done. These ladies have historically, in recent time, been telling me that they've been finding it challenging to have real relationship with particular gentlemen. Now, mind you, Faithful and I have a more in-depth knowledge of one another. So some of the stuff I'm going to give her back in this high why, it's based off of the fact that we already have rapport built. So if I say anything that seems like could be taken the wrong way, the real loves know and Luv Culture knows I only function from a place of assistance, helping, building, and love vibes. So know everything that I'm saying comes from that place and nowhere else. So when we are saying that it might be a problem for women to just sit back and let a man lead, I think it's important to remember a couple things. One, any of us are going to speak from our own personal lived experiences. That's why when I perform the poem Sistas right now, I don't only talk about the fact that, one, I wrote it, who I am a Black woman in America. I'm sure a Black woman in France or a Black woman in Jamaica may have a different lived experience. So if things that I say didn't coincide exactly with their lived experience, they might find issue or take up issue with things that I may have said in that poem. That's okay. We are all different. When I speak, Wyann speaks for Wyann. If other Black women or if other women or if other people from hip hop, because I'm definitely all hip hop, if anyone else finds some resonance in what I say, it's because how they have lived, their personal lived experiences have somewhat, in some way, shape, or form, aligned with my lived experiences. However, I'm not wrong for speaking from a heterosexual Black woman from the West Coast, deeply involved with hip hop, edutainer perspective. I'm not wrong for anything that I say on my platform, out of my mouth, in my own words. And whatever someone else's lived experience is, I don't care if you have a podcast and you are from the South and you think that the Civil War should be called the war between the states, and you think that Black people should be still called colored, or if you think that that's your platform from your perspective in your world. I am clear that you and I don't share the same ideals. That's probably why I have the freedom of choice not to listen to your podcast, like you have the freedom of choice not to listen to mine. But there are some people who are going to resonate with that individual's words, just like there are some loves and others who resonate with what we say here. So I want to preface everything I'm going to say with, I'm speaking from my lived experience. And because of that, it might or might not mirror some of what other people will think. That's everybody, by the way. It's not just me. So that's number one. Number two, as a Black woman in America, when I think of feminism or femininity, my first heroine of feminine anything, especially in the feminine movement, though, the feminist movement, is Sojourner Truth. And I think of Sojourner Truth because on record, she's the first abolitionist / feminist that I know. And I read up on her when I was 10 years old because a 5th grade teacher of mine thought that me reading her biography would enhance the woman I was to become. I thank Miss Geib for that. Miss Geib is in heaven, and I love her and all of the Geib family, if any of them are listening. My first LGBTQ plus instructor, by the way. So I love that woman. So, in reading about the first Black American feminist in, goodness, what was that? Like 1851? If I think about her infamous "Ain't I a Woman" speech, what I know is she had challenges, not just with white men who thought all women weren't, as equal as men in general in life. But a part of her struggle was being seen as a woman even by white women because she was 6'1", bore a lot of children. I think she had 8 children, something like it. All of them taken from her and sold into slavery. And yet and still she wanted to see this sisterhood happen between women of all nature. The struggles, though, to be even seen as a woman by white women shaped something deep in me where it's always in some way made me shy away from deeply accepting the ideal of feminism. I'm talking about from its inception for Black women, because that's where I join the story. So that's my, since 10 years old, deep-rooted position with that. It's not only that, because as a Black woman, we are thought always to be the strongest and independentist, and no, you don't need a man to stick around. You can do it on your own. Let's head a single male household. 80% of, especially under the poverty line, about 75 to 80% of households is headed by a single woman, an unwed woman. You want to know why? Because Black women are superpower women. No, that doesn't fly for me, Wyann, personally. I think that in having us be seen that way, we are denied the opportunity to cultivate our feminine energy, the creative energy, the energy that says we get to feel things. And we get to be wrong, and that's okay. And we get to kind of flow along with life and just allow and be, completely soft and docile even, and delicate. These are all words that you do not generally attach to Black women. We've had to be pillars. We've had to be oak trees. We've had to be solid as a rock. We've had to be certain things that always make us appear hard. And always have everything together. So since the beginning of time, for Black women, can I just sit back and allow a man to lead while I thrive in my femininity? Hell no. I haven't been allowed to. It's not that I could not. I haven't even been given permission by anybody's standards, anyone in society to be able to do that. Okay. And when I get the opportunity, when I get into a relationship where I have male and masculine leadership that I can trust, that sits and is the rock of the relationship, and I don't have to be the rock anymore. I can be my creative, fun-filled, beautiful self. What? You crazy. Of course I'm taking that opportunity. I am taking the opportunity to relish in my feminine energy if I'm given the opportunity. Now, here's the thing. I also have to discern what that looks like. So when this funny meme says, I want to just sit back and let a man lead while I thrive in my femininity, just because you have a dick and balls doesn't mean that you are. It technically means that you're a man, but by what a man, adult man is, responsible, able to balance your checkbook. I'm showing my age. You can set and hold down your own life without help. You have the bills paid, you all by yourself. If you're a dad, you're taking care of your child all by yourself. You're not waiting for a woman to enter your life to be a just add water mom and make sure that she can be your forever babysitter of your seed. No, nigga. Can you stand on your fucking 2 feet and hold down the fort without a woman behind you wagging her finger? You not needing a surrogate mother. You not needing a therapist. You being able to take the responsibility of being a man. Because that's all of what you're saying when you're saying, I just want to lead a woman. If you're a man, if you're a black man, if you're anything man and you want to lead your situation, man, why won't you just let me lead? Guess what? It's not about masculine or feminine. It's about being a responsible adult. If you have I'm reading Cicely Tyson's book, and I'm just on the part where she's divorced Miles, and Miles Davis, who was suffering from a cocaine addiction and suffered from it even while they were married. Just being able to say, no, I'm gonna sit back and let you lead. Well, you see, left to himself, he's self-destructive. And what he's doing to himself, guess what? He's going to do to you in the relationship, because it's all he knows. Cicely was holding down her shit, holding down her fork, got her roles, do her thing, put her stuff together. She married him because they were longtime friends and she wanted to see him thrive. And they both had some codependencies that worked for the time that they got together. But once they both kind of grew from the time and the space where they needed each other, the relationship started to grow sour. Because now, wait, our archetypal wounds have been kind of satiated and healed for a time. So I don't need you for that need anymore. Now I'm realizing I don't even fucking like you. I'm not here. I'm not loving what's happening between the two of us anymore. The relationship ends up failing before he passes away in 91. I give you that to say, if you want to lead as a man, you have to be a leader. Your cock and balls doesn't give you the right to lead my life. That's never the vibe, ever. And it won't be forever. If you have your stuff together, though, even if you make less money than me, if you as a man have your stuff together, you are a man, a man's man. You are respected amongst your peers. You have the 3 Ps. You protect me, you profess me, and you provide for me, meaning you have to do all 3 of those things for yourself first. We talked about that last episode. You guys can go back and look at that in the Let's Talk About Sex, Baby episode 41. If you got all that cracking for yourself, bro, then I might have to really consult my higher power and see if this is somewhere where I'm supposed to be. Not because the sex is good, not because I need a man to help me, to hold me, to buy me things, to give me the Birkin. No. If I desire you and you're on the level that I'm vibrating on, you take care of yourself, I take care of me, then yeah, I am down to let a man lead. And that is in no way curtailing or interfering with my femininity. If anything, if the man is functioning highly in his masculine energy, like the book The Way of the Superior Man talks about by David Deida, Deida, I think the last name is. If he's functioning as a man in his masculinity, he leaves me no room to be masculine. Unless we want to have a tug of war and it's like rocks trying to lay with rocks. If he's being the man and holding down all of the masculine hard parts of the relationship, I'm going to naturally dissolve and melt into the feminine fluidity that I am. And I want to see what that looks like. And if I'm being really honest, Faithful Coffer, one of the reasons I think a lot of women who are boss women might have a problem with the line, I just want to sit back and let a man lead while I thrive in my femininity, is because women aren't practiced today in living in their femininity. Every woman striving and go-getting and being ahead in life is practiced in high amounts of masculine energy, to the point where if they don't have that, they don't know what the fuck they have. They don't know who they are if they're not being, quote unquote, the man. So it's almost like an identity crisis to ask a woman, especially a Black woman, to ask a woman to dissolve and melt and relax back into her feminine energy, surrender into her feminine energy, rest into her feminine energy. Many Black women would take that as an insult. And I can't tell you why. I'm just telling you I used to be one of them. So, I'll let it be known. For sure. If a man, I got a man like that right now, he'd be like, baby, I got this. You don't got to think. Just be. I'm like, oh, nigga, let's go. So, yes, Faithful, if I'm allowed the opportunity to thrive in my feminine energy, I will take it. And that's because of my rich history as a Black woman in America, having to be the rock all the time, having to be on all the time, expected to be able to do it alone all the time. No, as I've taken the trek to discover my feminine energy, I'm learning to love her ass way more. And that's dovetailing into the next high why, which will also melt and dissolve right into the Wyann's words of wisdom. Love Mitzen, our resident PsyD and one of the wonderful masterminds of Luv Culture, asks, I also wanted to ask you if you could share more about how you got from where you were at 29 to where you are now. What you were saying during Love Tuesdays resonated with me, and I see myself in that same place you were describing. So in Love Tuesdays a few weeks back, we were speaking with a new love. Oh no, her name escapes me. I don't think you were in the room either that day. Oh man. Fudge. Her name escapes me now. My bad, baby girl. If you're on here, and it was her 29th birthday. She was just turning 29. Doggone it. I can't see your name, but you know you are Love, so don't even worry about it. Beautiful love that you are. We were describing, or I was describing to her where I was at 29 and where I am now with my feminine energy at 39, and giving her permission to start her journey into her Black womanhood earlier than me. I think I only started, oh goodness, I only started finding this version of Wyann in, goodness, I know the last 6 months. Something about when Shoka passed, it was like, I don't know, a part of something made me go to yoga It was weird, but God has been telling me to do yoga since forever. His exact words was, yoga is going to save your life. So when? For Ashoka, it's going to be on April 2, it's going to be 6 months. Yeah. Oh, you're talking about the fall?
That, and then also just
before, yeah. I want to get into the feminine energy. I did say that last year. I wanted to get into, no. I know. With the vision boarding. That was International Women's History Day. March 8th. That was last year. You, me, Zelike, and Sky. Yeah. Okay. So, that's right. You're going to laugh, Mitzen, but I remember what it was. TJ and I had a time right at the end of 2020. Q, you already know this. Right at the end of 2020. And when we bounced back from that hiccup in our relationship, as we bounced back, one of the things DJ, who's DJ? I'm not dating a DJ. TJ, one of the things TJ did was start to fortify himself with a lot of masculine energy. I think he would even tell you, and I think he's okay with me saying, he enhanced his relationship with his dad. He attracted a different sect of male friends to hang around and be around. All of them were his friends already. It's just when he was vibrating in a different way, he had different male friends of his that were closer into him. But when he started to turn himself into finding more of his worth and resonating on a higher frequency, there were different men that he drew in closer to himself. So TJ is taking on all this masculine energy. And I just started in our relationship to notice where I didn't need to hold all those bags anymore. Oh, that's the damn break it down I was going to do. Bag lady, you gon' hurt your back. Dragging all them bags like that. I'll do it another day. But one of the bags that I was carrying in my Erykah Badu reference there, bag lady, one of the bags I was carrying was all Wyann's masculine energy. And I was carrying it because it safeguarded me. It safeguarded me from hurt within a relationship. It safeguarded me from looking stupid as fuck in front of a bunch of people, not just in the relationship that I'm currently in, but in previous relationships. My masculine energy, I think many women's masculinized energy gets activated when the gentlemen we choose, we always choose them, don't we? The gentlemen we choose to be with end up not being for us. And in doing that myself so many times, I thought I couldn't trust a lot of men. I had to amend that. I stopped trusting Wyann's instinct to be able to pick someone right for her. And so where I thought I didn't feel safe in relationships, I didn't feel safe in my relationship with me. I didn't feel safe that I was doing this life thing, quote unquote, correctly or right. And as I was speaking to this young love in Love Tuesdays on my @Wyanna Instagram, and Mitzen was in there when I was doing this, she said, yeah, it's my 29th birthday. I think I sang her happy birthday. Oh, also remind me to sing happy birthday for one of the loves. Their birthday is the day this comes out on the 31st. Oh my freaking goodness, which love is it? We're just going to say happy birthday, dear. You know who you are, love. Sorry, gentlemen. But it's one of the gentlemen, love. Anyways, when I was speaking with her, a lot of the comments she was leaving in the chat on Love Tuesdays were all of this I'll just say they all had an overtone of, being strong, having it all together, not in a bad way, but in a way that said she's probably had to have everything together. And the context of the conversation, though, was talking about relationships. And once again, to all my beautiful lady loves listening, or any of my loves listening who would identify themselves as having more feminine energy, and would like to attract masculinized individuals to them, whoever you are, however you identify. If you take up the masculine space, you leave no room for a man to be a man. You just leave no room for it. And when I was 29, I was in my master's program. I was the head of my class. I had all of these things going for myself. I was about to graduate with distinction, all A's, the entire master's program. First person with a master's degree in my family. Have this together, have that together. Wyann was boom, bap, boom, bap. I had to check all the boxes. That was Wyann. I had to check all the boxes. Michelle Obama talked about being a professional box checker as well. And as I was doing all this at 29, and even going forward, graduating, capturing the next level of life, which was being a college professor, one of the youngest college professors at the time that I knew of there at the college where I was working, fortifying a bunch of beautiful Black minds and forming these real lifelong relationships with these young people, having getting a job and making more money than everybody I was around, and all these different things. The go-getter Wyann, all of the box checking, have it all together type of energy. And guess what? In all of that time, my interpersonal romantic relationships floundered. They were dying if they ever really got the chance to start. And as that was a thing, and as I was noticing that I wasn't experiencing love at home, all of the things I could buy myself started to seem less and less important. I think they were only important because I didn't feel fulfilled. I didn't feel fully filled within myself of who I am and who I chose to be. As a result, I'd hide in all my accomplishments. And I gave that 29-year-old love in Love Tuesdays permission to not be perfect, to not have it all together, to be able to say, hey, you know what? One of the things I want on my next vision board is a mate, a compatible mate, someone who's going to love me for me and I love them for them. That's okay. A lot of women think it's weak to desire a man, fully having a man. If heterosexual relationships and where this needs to be adjusted for anyone, please make your personal adjustments. But when it comes to desiring these things, as much as you quote unquote manifested that job or you manifested that degree, my love, you have to manifest the personal, interpersonal type of life that you want too. And it's not enough to say, you know what? I really want a man. And then keep going and box checking and staying in all of your logic and being the rock of every situation and always having it together. You leave no room to attract that man to you. If you're in all of your masculine, you know what you start to do? You start to attract men in their feminine. It's a natural balance that you begin to attract. Yeah, you'll attract the men, don't get me wrong, but you and all of that masculine energy will attract the feminine man, and you will keep doing it. And I had to give myself permission to break up with that concept of Wyann as the most perfect, Wyann as the most accomplished. I had to get vulnerable with myself. When you're not writing, listen, you guys know I wrote a book called Write Out. I have a bunch of poetry in that book called Write Out that are examples of writing out. Writing out is also what I call journaling. When I'm not being honest with myself in my journals, my nigga, and it's only me reading it, that's more indicative of where Wyann needs more work. Not, oh, he just wasn't man enough for me. No, nigga, it wasn't that he wasn't man enough for you. You weren't woman enough for him. What? Whoops. Hello? And maybe not for him, but for the man that you actually want. Maybe you did attract an effeminate man, a womanizing man, a man who doesn't stand on morals and principles, and therefore he just kind of moves with the wind. And so when he's in this city, he fucks this girl. And when he's in that city, he fucks that girl. He has no dick discipline. He has no goings of himself. He don't know where his next meal or thing is coming from. Maybe you've attracted that dude. And I'm not saying that you need to submit to that dude. I am saying, though, that the guy that does have his shit together, when you meet him, you will have to submit. If you have an issue with the word submit, it ain't him. It's you. You have an issue with vulnerability. That's you. And I'm saying this to Wyann in a mirror. You understand me? And it was what I had to go through with and for myself. And the relationship that I currently enjoy, my romantic relationship that I currently enjoy, guess what? It's gone through its roller coasters, its ups and its downs. And if you've seen the episode with TJ and me on Patreon, our first exclusive Patreon episode, we talk about a little bit of that because it wasn't perfect. And so when people say goals, we laugh our asses off. We're like, huh? It's not goals. It's relentless desire and choosing every single day. And certain days it feels easier, and certain days it feels like, nigga, I guess. Some days it feels like that. But even throughout those days, we kept choosing each other. That's why we are enjoying what we have now. This thing is going on 6 years come this fall. So, so long as it feels good and as God keeps telling me to choose this man, I'm going to be right here, I had to build my relationship with God, though, to the point where I know to trust him when he says, keep choosing this man. That's a 100% accurate statement. When the last situation fell apart that I was in, I told God, the next dude I get that's for me is going to have to be so deeply buried in you that to get to me, he's going to have to consult you. And to keep me, he will have to stay wherever you are. Because I'm not doing this other shit no more. Straight the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? If we're going to build relationships off ego, then I'm going to start, I'm going to have one half mixed race white kid and one black kid, one Mexican. If you leaving it up to me, I'm going to start having fun with this shit. If you leaving it up to the Wyann ego, I'm getting real creative. I'm going to make a little coalition out this pussy. Hello? Like, I'm not about to sit here and keep trying to love on all these niggas if it's going to keep turning into this same bullshit. And God was like, well, have you surrendered? I'm like, I feel like I've surrendered. He said, no, like, not just to me, to you. You surrender pretty easy to me, to love, to all that is positive. I'm talking about, have you surrendered to yourself? Hey, when you look in the mirror, do you still notice all your flaws? Or do you see me? And do you see love? And do you see perfection the way I created you? Or are you still going to the gym to change how I created you? Not to enhance, to ameliorate, to bolster how I created you. You ain't surrendered to yourself, your own worth. But maybe when you do, I don't know, maybe all this will be cool. This is me and God talk, by the way. So, to get to the Wyann that is 39 right now, soon to be just in a couple weeks 40, I'm letting it be known, taking your hands off of the proverbial steering wheel and surrendering to life, submitting and getting okay with the word submit. Getting okay with the word submit also dovetails, it like goes hand in hand with getting okay with being powerful in your femininity. your real femininity, not feminism that can sometimes look like a bunch of women trying to behave like men. Yeah, we should have equal rights. I'm not saying that women shouldn't have equal rights. I'm purposely saying all people should have rights. And I don't think they should be equal. I think they should be equitable. If you say equal, it means that you're giving everybody $5, no matter if the person started out with $1,000 or if the person started out with negative $10. I give each person $5. That changes very little. It just creates a higher disparity, literally. But equitable, all humans should have equitable treatment. I think in that sense, certain folks get a certain type of loving that another sect of folks don't even need. We live in the hood. So it's rockets up on these hoes. That was one of the rockets. Is that one of the rockets, guys? You know it was. Yeah. Duck, Susie, duck. No, I'm messing with you. Yes, but this is what I want to talk about in these Wyann's words of wisdom that we're going right into right now. So those two high whys, one for Faithful Coffer, one of our classic beautiful loves, and our resident PsyD, also 1/3 of the masterminds, Love Mitzen. We got both of y'all taken care of. I don't know why I wanted in the beginning of this Wyann's words of wisdom, I wanted to read to you a comment I left on DJ Head, DJ HED. He's a radio personality and ambassador, spokesperson for the West Coast, is what he self-proclaims. But that's what he kind of does. He talked about the idea of rest and why some Black men, but Black people have a lower life expectancy because we keep stress going in our lives. Not only that, the desire to always feel busy, like I gotta be doing something, is actually a trauma response. So the idea of rest seems very foreign. And I thought that was such a thing for women of today. He didn't post it under that guise, but I'm saying I'm stealing that and I'm bringing it here to this conversation, saying that it pertains to us too. So here was what I wrote out under DJ Head's post about busyness being a trauma response. I said, bruh, I will never forget this. So we were at Dr. Dre's beach house working on this Apple show back in 2015. Here I am, Miss Edutainer, head ass, burning the candle at both ends, getting up with the pharmacy boys. This is shouts out to Exhibit, DJ Pooh, Battle Cat, J Rock, all the boys that we was with, just incredible. Getting up with all the boys and also still teaching and counseling at the college that I was working for at the time. So here we're working on the Quincy Jones episode and I'm outside of one of, not just the balcony, one of the balconies at the particular beach house. And I'm standing out there with DJ Pooh. So me and Pooh is out there and he on the phone, but I see four white dudes on the beach. That's a beach house. Like you leave out of this house and you're on the sand. Like it's a beach house. The plot next to his house, though, is vacant. There's no house that's built on that land. So there's a beach that you can see. There's no house to distract or obstruct the vision. And these four gentlemen, they're out there on the beach lot next to the house and they aimlessly lay down a towel and they have a ball to kick around and a frisbee to throw. And in my mind, I say, what's the objective of this? So here I'm studying. Nigga, you know what they were doing? Chilling. You know, this random rare thing called relaxing or something like it. And I was so surprised. Here I was, 33. And that was the first time in my life that I realized what rest looked like. It would be another 2 years and a talk from Dr. Dre about vacationing that would happen until I gave myself permission to vacation my own damn self. It's amazing realizing the relationship between leveling up and rest. Leveling up and rest. The higher up you go, the more you need to learn to relax, chill, take breaks, etc. As I delve into my feminine energía, reading the Way of the Superior Man book by David Dida, I'm not sure how to say his last name. It was important for me to start to see that feminine energy is like creative energy. It's feeling energy. It's not surprising that that's what it is, but as much as I had to be 33 to see what rest looked like, it's almost like reading this book intended for men and masculinized individuals. It's like if you learn where light is, by definition, you'll also learn where all the shadows are, because you can see where the absence of light is once you see where light is. So they have that sort of, positive space, negative space relationship. That's how learning my feminine energy has begun to look. And I'll say that in recognizing the creative and the feel side of my energy, it's made me learn to relax and rest on my managerial / logical side of my energy. I also know this. Men in general feel really hurt if you attack their strength. Women in general feel really hurt when you attack their body image. And that's not from me. That's from Brene Brown, another fellow MSW, also, trained a practicing / trained therapist. She's not just an MSW, she's like an LCS, licensed clinical social worker. But I wanted to bring up the what men feel hurt by, which is attacking their strength, and women generally feel hurt by attacking their body image. And I know that in today's era, we have a lot of masculinized women where if you attack how strong a woman is, she'll take just as much offense as the body image comments as well. And I bring that up to say, in my experience personally, I used to be one of these people. If I couldn't run as fast, or and mind you, I'm 5'3.25". We don't have to talk about how tall I am. I'm a giant. I'm the tallest 5'3" and something, first of all. But Susie, my assistant here, she's 5'9", 5'11". I tried to play her ass. My God. If she and I were to take off running right now, unless I have the fastest pitter patter of gaits in the freaking world, and I've been studying and I've been this and that, unless that, her storky legs, no, I'm messing with you. No. Her long model legs are simply going to carry her a farther distance per step than mine will. She is not trying to sun me. She is not trying to head me as a human being. She is simply physically taller and therefore capable of doing certain things at 5'11" that me at 5, almost 4. Let's say it like that. That's better for marketing. I'm 5, almost 4. Modeling brands, holla. No, I'm messing with you. No. At 5, almost 4, she can do things that I just can't. And that's okay. In a strength of running test, if we've both trained equally, this is why I said equity versus equal. If we've both trained equally, she will always win me. This should not measure my sense of worth to me, to myself. However, in a very similar way, women of today, when it comes to strength, and not just physical strength, like that's a very visual, physical example I gave. But I'm talking about if we can't endure as much pain as a dude, if we can't be expected to do the same work and come out with the same outcome like a dude, and everything we do like a dude, look at the focus. And I say that because if we're looking at the power of femininity, shouldn't the focus be feminine? Not a comparative study, everything we do, you can do better, or vice versa, where it comes to trying to head a man. Hey, what you aim for, you'll hit. So if your aim always includes a dude in the feminism type of movement, don't be surprised when it doesn't feel feminine anymore. The entire aim, the entire target is the course taken by masculine energy, not feminine energy. You understand? Unless we're talking about humans' rights, like suffrage, like the ability to work, like being seen as 5/5 human. If we're not talking about that, wage and things like that, if we're not talking about that, anything else starts to be feminized attempts at becoming, not being equal to, at becoming masculine. And I only say that for Wyann. Please don't take this as a blanket statement for everyone else. This is my journey to recognizing what powerful femininity looks like. And in powerful femininity for me, I had to see myself much differently than whatever a guy was doing. And quite frankly, I just had to see myself. I think that's something that I wasn't doing as much as I could. And once I started seeing me, I think it changed a lot. I promise you, I think it changed a lot. I was timid to tap into my feminine energy because, one, it felt foreign. Two, it felt different. Three, it felt scary. Where did the fear or scare come from? I would have to open up my relationship with me and my mom. I would have to open up my relationship to me and how I was enculturated and indoctrinated into the society by other ladies when I was younger. And some of those wounds were the exact things that I needed my masculinized energy to protect me from. This is where having therapy comes into play. This is where writing out every day comes into play. This is where having a support system where you can have honest dialogue with people, group settings even, comes into play. It's very healthy to be able to explore where these things came from and what they end up looking like. So the navigation for me wasn't linear and it wasn't steady. I would pick it up, put it down, pick it up, put it down based on how safe I felt. A woman's desire to feel safe will either accentuate her feminine energy or truncate it. It'll close it all the way off, or it'll open the valve. If she feels safe, she can start the process. Until she feels safe, she'll forever be toggling, it seems. And the she I'm referring to, once again, Wyann Vaughn. If you happen to resonate with this, so dope. But I'm just giving you my journey. It's powerful to learn to surrender, to be safe within vulnerability, especially if you're in front of mixed audiences. I would love to say, going back to that, how you hurt women is to attack their body image. In my history, I've looked at my size, especially comparatively between my beautiful two sisters who are probably 40 and 60 pounds lighter than me, respectively, Wendy and Whitney. You know, when I look at those two gorgeous model type girls, I've generally seen myself and not know where to place myself when it comes to Wyann and her femininity. And because I couldn't find my feminine amongst these beautiful women, I said, okay, I'll just switch and I'll go the other direction, and I'll start to fortify, you know, the puppy tails and what is it? Girls are spice and everything nice. Boys are puppy tails and dog snails. Snails and puppy tails and dog well, something like that. I can't remember what that is. Have you ever heard of that? It's like, oh my God, to get more stupider. Girl, go to Venus. To get more penis? What is it? I don't know what they do. Oh, okay, never mind. This is why Susie usually doesn't have, she's not supposed to give me the words. Yeah. But message to ladies, especially as I'm nearing my 40th birthday, and we start to learn things like our body changes, and we are looking then to always either be in a gym or go under a knife and get a surgery, or we're trying to always prove our worth in our appearance, it seems. And especially as we get growner, it doesn't go away. You know, the IG filters is a fuck of a thing. Hello, you get in that and you get lost. Be like, wait, my cheekbones don't look like that, or this don't look like that. You know, whatever it might be. If you're in the, oh my God, if you're in the entertainment business, it's just worse for you. It's just worse for you. I want to send this message to these beautiful women, all my loves who are ladies. You are so beautiful exactly the way you are. And I want you to ask yourself, when you get the chance, who benefits from you doubting yourself at your body image? I want to know who benefits, you know, whoever they are. I don't know if you would call them a friend. I don't know if you would think they were someone very valuable in your life. But by you learning that you are gorgeous the way you are, this is not to say, you know what, yeah, I never need to work out, or I never need to look at my body image, or I never need to study my femininity. No. You do all of those things because they are good to and for you. But if you're doing them to prove your femininity, or to prove your work, or to prove, anytime you're looking to prove, you don't accept and already know the power of your worth. And that's, once again, where my trek with this journey that is becoming fully actualized in femininity, that's what that's looked like for me personally. I want to leave you with that. Women, you are beautiful. Always assess who is benefiting from you doubting how beautiful you are. That is a question I will leave you with. Not a resolution, but a question I will leave you with. And before I go, hey, ho, get it, suit. And as always, I love the dew. In my in my bathroom, it's the honey products. I did my hair with the honey products of the dew. They are not called the honey products. They are called the Bee Girl collection. Hello, Bee like BEE girl. And it feels so endearing to myself when I do my own hair, but there's always shouts out to Hair by Quista at HAIRBYQUISTA, Hair by Quista, my hair lady, my personal hair lady, who has grown all this crop down my back. It's coming back to where it used to be before I cut it in solidarity with my older sister when she had her diagnosis for cancer and overcame some of it. I know it probably got hair on it. Sorry, this is my actual. This is not like another one. These are my actuals. So here are the two that I use for my honey shampoo and my honey condish. Actually called condish. Ladies first, honey shampoo. Ooh, ladies first, ladies first. Ooh, yes. And then we have supersonic. Boom, boom, boom. Supersonic hair conditioner. These two products you can buy at THEDOUX.com, thedoux.com. It's French. And at ILOVETHEDOUX on all platforms. In addition, I wanted to shout out my homegirl, Angie, Miss Millennial Mija. She gave me this when I was featured on her podcast a few months ago. And this is the Black and Brown Alliance that makes up LA. Hello. Her bag here says Mija making moves, and I am a Mija making moves. Orale, okay. But yes, you can check her out, and she's also a fuck of a poet. She's outstanding. Her name is at MILLENNIAL Millennial Mija podcast. Please make sure that you are checking that out. Have my homegirl Il Camille's project up here. Wanted just to shout her out because she is somebody that I have always loved and admired. And whenever I think of dope feminine energy within hip hop, Il Camille comes up. And yes, do not hate. It is a signed copy of her album Heirloom that she allowed me to work on 2017. I do not know if that's right. I believe it's 2017. I wrote these words for everyone. Okay, well, I do not see what year this came out, but that's okay. That's when I think it came out, so that's when it came out today. Over my left shoulder right here, I have a crick in my side of this neck, so I can't like turn and really look at it like I want to. But on this side of me, I wanted to shout out Black Star Comics. You can find them at Black Star Collectibles, all spelled correctly and together.com. Black Star Collectibles, all spelled correctly and together.com. Black Star Comics is a Black-owned comic store. No. I'm sorry. How you say comic? What am I saying? Yeah, comics and Marvel Universe store in the Carson Mall. So real LA shit. And they don't even call it the Carson Mall anymore. I forgot what they call it. Don't worry, you'll be fine. South Bay Pavilion is what they call it. But it's the Carson Mall. Just like Fox Hills Mall will always be Fox Hills. Whatever they call it, it's not it. And my favorite superhero is Storm. I was going to wear a Storm shirt. But my titties didn't look good in it. Fuck it. So it's just what we do, you know? So I wasn't going to put it on. However, this particular comic book that I got for Christmas, shouts out to TJ Wilkins, is about Fearless and Fantastic. It's all lady superheroes. And there are so many ladies in the Marvel universe that are superheroes that I don't think get a lot of shine. And reading about them was like hella dope for me personally. I'm wearing earrings by Aurora and Art at Aurora. Oh God, Aurora, Aurora, ANNEART. Aurora Ann Art on Instagram. My soon-to-be sister-in-law made these earrings, and I want you to know that we shouted out a little bit of white, a little bit of black, a little Latina, a little brown. We have all sorts of love here in Luv Culture, and Luv Culture gets to really strut its stuff at Love Tuesdays, hence the new merch run, Love in Color. Is It Tuesday Yet? By at Raise It Up Y, of course. This is what we have going on, and lady cut shirts are in peach, and unisex shirts are in gold. Go ahead and DM at Raise It Up Y for how to get in on this. Luv Culture patrons, whether you're general support or an actual love, you all get discounts. So let it be known that we out here. I just want to say thank you all for always tapping in, listening, being on point. I appreciate already any of the Aries love wishes that you're providing me. And you almost thought I forgot. Hold up. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. I want to say it's Love Daddy Doss. But if it's not Love Daddy Doss, to any love whose birthday is today or in the Aries constellation, happy birthday to you. Stay real, y'all. Raise it up, why? Raise it up.